Hoyoverse assaulted the community when they revealed the 2 new S-rank agents for version 2.1. Ukinami Yuzuha, a physical support agent, and Alice Timefield, a physical anomaly agent. Please don't do Jane Doe dirty like this. You cannot do that to her. Both of these characters are from the new faction Spook Shack. My name is Shimpone, but you can call me Shin. My goal is to try and build and test as many characters as I can for Zenless Zone Zero and HSR. If that is something you're interested in, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more content just like this. Just a heads up, I will be releasing videos for both Yuzuha and Alice at the same time, so I'm going to be sharing this intro, but I will be going over their kits in separate videos. So just keep that in mind going forward. Starting with the Phase 1 agent, Ukinami Yuzuha. She is a physical support agent, and being the second limited support agent, she has a lot to live up to. So starting out with her basic attack, right now her basic attack is, basic, 5 hits, dealing physical damage, and she has a hold attack called Open Umbrella. She enters a defensive stance for 1.5 seconds, and if she is attacked by enemies during this time, she will parry the attacks, and when successfully defending against attacks, recover 1 charge point. While in defensive stance, the Tanuki companion will assist Yuzuha in attacking enemies, dealing physical damage. This is pretty cool. I love parries, so I'm very happy to see that. Love me my parries, they're super fun. So that's really cool. So I'm curious to see what they do with it. Next, she has basic attack, Candy Shot. After a continuous umbrella spinning attacks, fire a powerful projectile dealing physical damage, and when Yuzuha has charge points, when other controlled characters hit enemies, Yuzuha will consume 1 charge point and launch a basic attack Candy Shot around the enemy. Candy Shot is an aftershock. Basic attack Candy Shot can be triggered at most once every 4 seconds. So it seems like she's going to be Vivian for physical attacks, for physical damage rather, but also aftershock support. So for you SAMB lovers out there, you got yourself some more aftershock support. And then she has basic attack Candy Splash, that enemies in Candy Fright state will receive Candy Splash attacks once every second. The anomaly buildup accumulated by Candy Splash attacks does not participate in the anomaly damage calculations, and Candy Splash attacks have 50% increased anomaly buildup rate. So she's aftershock, but also disorder or anomaly support. We'll have to read and find out more. And then her next and final basic attack, Super Candy Splash. Enemies in the Candy Fright state, when hit by a basic attack Candy Shot or assist follow-up Candy Shot, will receive 1 Super Candy Splash attack. The anomaly buildup accumulated by Super Candy Splash does not participate in anomaly damage calculations, and Super Candy Splash has 50% increased anomaly buildup rate. That is a lot for just basic attack stuff. It's basic attack, but it doesn't sound so basic now, does it? Now for her special attack, just special. You just tap it, fire forward, dealing physical damage. And now her EX special attack. When energy is sufficient, tap to activate. Throw a bomb at the enemy, dealing physical damage. When a critical hit connects with the enemy, inflicts Candy Fright status for 30 seconds. The duration refreshes when re-triggered. When activated, recover 2 charge points. When this move hits an enemy, trigger Quick Assist. So she is a support, but she does feel like a pseudo anomaly agent, which is pretty interesting. We'll have to read more and find out. EX special attack, Instant Cast. After dodge counter, Quick Assist, or when triggering perfect dodge, tap to activate. Quickly throw a bomb at the enemy, dealing physical damage. When a critical hit connects with an enemy, inflicts Candy Fright for 30 seconds. Same thing as before. Duration refreshes when re-triggered, and when activated, recovers 2 charge points and triggers a Quick Assist. Now, Candy Fright. When enemies are in the Candy Fright state, when first hit by an attack from a controlled character with the same attribute as themselves, will be assimilated, causing Candy Splash and Super Candy Splash attacks to convert to that character's attribute. When an enemy's Candy Fright status is triggered, or re-triggered, rather, the original assimilated status will be removed. and the enemy can be assimilated again. This really comes off as an assault focused support. Really interesting. Now she might actually just be Jane Doe support, giving Jane Doe some love. You love to see it. I love to see it. Gotta give us some, she needs some support, so she's luckily getting a support. Now her chain attack, it's a normal chain attack, but when activated she gets 3 charge points. So this really does feel like she is Vivian for assault or physical damage teams, waiting for our physical DPS or attack type agent. Oh, we already have one. Sorry, Nekomata. And now her ultimate. She deals a large amount of physical damage to enemies all around her. And when a critical hit connects with an enemy, she applies Candy Fright state for 30 seconds and then refreshes when triggered again. And then when activated, characters in the team recover 32 energy. When activated, recover 2 charge points, and it triggers quick assist. So I like to compare characters, not in like a bad way or just to help simplify. So her ultimate is just like Bernice's. Now, whether or not it extends the duration if you tag out, that's not the case as of right now. But she tags out and recovers energy for the team. So this definitely does feel more support instead of anomaly. So I think that's where they're different, which is the big thing. So she has Bernice's ultimate with Vivian's stacks that allow you to apply more physical attribute anomaly to the enemy. So she really just reads, I'm a assault DP, I'm an assault support. I want my team to assault the enemy and kill them or beat them with assault. I am assaulting people. That's really bad. She wants to buff assault from right now, but let's get into her core skill. When entering the battlefield, Yuzuha gains 3 charges right off the bat, and when inflicting Candy Fright on the enemies, provides the entire team with an attack boost equal to 37% of her Yuzuha's attack, up to a maximum of 1200 points. I don't know the math on that. I will have to figure that out. If I do, I will put it on screen, but you're going to want to build as much attack as you can get on her without, sacrificing other stats, of course. She also increases the team's damage by 15% for 30 seconds, and then that refreshes when re-triggered. So the Candy Fright state just buffs damage across the board, which is awesome. And then her additional ability, when there is an anomaly agent or another agent from the same faction on the team, when Yuzuha's anomaly mastery exceeds 100 points, each point of anomaly mastery above 100 increases attribute anomaly damage and disorder damage taken by enemies in Candy Fright by 0.25%, up to a maximum increase of 25%. So I'm doing some quick math here. I think you want to get to 200 anomaly mastery. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments down below, but that is what I'm assuming. And if that's true, this is insane. And last but not least, let's talk about her signature engine. So obviously it's S rank support, base attack 713, energy regeneration 60% when maxed out, or max level rather. When the equipper's EX special attack deals physical damage, anomaly mastery is increased by 35 for 30 seconds. Duration refreshes when re-triggered. When the equipper's aftershock hits enemies, increases the entire team's anomaly proficiency by 60 for 30 seconds, and this resets when re-triggered. So for Yuzuha's drive disc options, I think one of her better options for her 4-piece is going to be Astral Voice, because as we know, the 4-piece bonus is just really good, and she does give quick assists often enough to make it work. Otherwise, if you really want to, you can run 4-piece Swing Jazz, but I do think maybe running 4-piece Swing Jazz is going to be her better option for her 2-piece. Otherwise, you can run Hormone Punk for 2-piece if you need more attack. Or I think what might be the better option for her 2-piece is probably actually going to be Phaethon's Melody, because she does want to build Anomaly Mastery for her additional ability. Now for Wenjins, let's go. We have a few good options. Obviously, her best in slot is going to be her signature, but in case you don't have her signature or you don't want to get her signature, a good option is Slice of Time. It's a good generic option, but I think her best option is going to be Kaboom the Cannon. It gives all units an attack buff, which she already does, but it helps her with her attack needs, and it has an energy regen main stat, so it does just help with the build a little better. That's kind of just the general best 4-star support for almost every support character. It's a really strong Wenjin, so if you have it, use it. It's great. And then if you do not have that, you could use Bashful Demon, because it has an attack percent main stat, and it does give a attack percent increase when using your EX special attack. But I do think Kaboom the Cannon is going to be her best free to play, or her best 4-star option. And if you have Unfettered Game Ball, that is an option too. But again, I think even if you do get Unfettered Game Ball from the Battle Pass, I think Kaboom the Cannon is going to be her best A rank option. But with that out of the way, let's talk team options. All right, so onto the team portion for this video. Like I said, I am going over Alice's kit in a video simultaneously live with this one, so I will be going through this video assuming you know what Alice's kit is already. And with that, let's get started. I do think Alice is going to be her best in slot, just because, you know, physical anomaly, and with her just wanting to apply stuff and apply assault rather. You really just want characters that can do that. I do think alternatives here. Let's make another row real quick. This one will be Alice alts. So alternatives for Alice could be Jane and Piper. Again, they're both physical anomaly agents that want to apply assault, especially with, you know, Jane Doe being critting with assaults, and then just, you know, Piper being the free to play option, because at this point you probably have at least a copy of Piper, or at least I hope you do. Otherwise, I'm really sorry. I guess pull better. Joking, of course. But I do think this is her best in slot. And I think going with the team, these three, Yanagi, Vivian, and Bernice, in my opinion, could be considered her best in slot, just because, you know, Yanagi does her polarity disorders, and then Vivian and Bernice just apply anomaly while off field, so it allows you to feed into that disorder proccing for both of these characters' kits, or for Alice's kit. So these three could be alternatives, in my opinion. I think mid options, you could run Corin or Billy as the on-fielder. I do think these are borderline cope, because I think she does, you know, wanting to trigger assault and disorders. These two don't apply enough attribute anomaly unless you made them do it. But again, it's just very jank if you use one of these two. They'll do the job. I just think it's very cope if you do. And then obviously you could run, like, you know, for Corin, you could run not Alice, you could run Rena, and then for Piper you could run, you know, Lucy, you know, the standard supports for these characters. You could run Caesar for a comfort pick for a third slot if you're running, you know, Alice and Yuzuha. I think this is just her best in slot is going to be Alice, you know, definitively. And then for the third, you could go between these two or some other, you know, characters. I do think Grace is cope, and where is she? Miyabi is mid. I'm gonna put her in mid for this team because Yuzuha wants to be doing like physical anomaly related stuff. So for Grace, I do think she is going to be a solid option just because Yuzuha is basically supporting Disorder as a team comp. So being the on-fielder, you could run her. Actually, yeah, put her here. Because she's an on-field anomaly character. And then I also think, you know, Miyabi is Miyabi, being an anomaly, being the strongest DPS in the game and anomaly unit, just probably, you know, potentially could be best in slot. You know, I do think personally, yeah, you know what, she actually, I don't want to put her in best in slot, but she could just be best in slot, so we'll put her there with, you know, an asterisk, subject to change based on what we see. And then obviously, like for Grace and Miyabi, you run the typical suspect supports for those characters. Again, with Miyabi, you could run Yanagi as well. Vivian, Bernice, not really Grace or these three, just because with Miyabi, she wants to be on field most of the time. So these three won't really synergize with Miyabi, but you know, it is what it is at that point. So let me know if you guys are pulling Yuzuha, and if you are you pulling her W-Engine? What teams you want to use with her? Just let me know. I'm curious. Let me know in the comments down below. If you are interested in more ZZZ content like this, leave a like, comment what you want to see more of. I would love to keep making this type of video, so let me know if you want me to talk about this stuff going forward. Again, I have Alice's video going up at the same time as this, so go check that out. Subscribe for more content. I stream Zenless, Star Rail, JRPGs, some fighting games occasionally on Twitch at twitch.tv/Shimpone_. Again, link for that will be in the description, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.